If you're a gamer, you will hear it being said around the YouTube streets how exclusivity no longer works. You've even heard industry analysts tell you how exclusivity is a dying business. Microsoft gave up on this, and Sony recently announced their most successful exclusive IP title in Spider-Man 2 will hit PC at the start of next year. Let me say this so we can be clear. Game exclusivity does not in any way benefit the consumer. The only people who think otherwise are the type of people who have used corporations to replace their father, their girlfriend, or their entire life. It doesn't matter where you play your games, as long as you get to play them. The purpose of exclusivity is to bring more value to the consoles these companies are trying to sell you. The draw to any platform is gaming experiences you can't get anywhere else. Whether it's better games, better graphics, a DVD player, or a combination of any of those things. If you want that top-notch or unique gaming experience, you can only get it if you invest in this or that platform. Nintendo have been the ones who have kept the titles off platforms with monumental success over the last 40 years. How are they doing what the competition can't and what people say can no longer be done? It really isn't hard to figure out. The most important part of exclusivity is exclusivity. People vilify Nintendo for going after ROM sites and emulators, when all these people are making emulators and ROMs of consoles and games which are currently being sold. The most popular emulators are not the ones emulating the N64, the NES, or the GameCube. The most popular emulators are for the Switch. The ROM sites that get the most traffic are the ones offering Nintendo games like Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda, which are available on NSO. Exclusivity doesn't work without exclusivity, meaning there can't be any other way to play these games other than your platform. Game Pass gets all sorts of praise on the YouTube streets. It's also the reason the Xbox Series is the dog water gaming platform. It could work if they only gave you access to it if you owned an Xbox, but you don't even need their console to have access to their games. NSO is a hub for Nintendo's retro library. They're not going to put Echoes of Wisdom or Mario and Luigi Brothership on NSO. Alongside, the only way to have access to NSO is by owning a Switch. This is the way you bring value to your gaming platform. Those complaining about low sales of the Xbox while having year subscriptions of Game Pass, you're the problem. Microsoft sees the numbers. People are skipping the Xbox and not buying games for the Xbox, and are just streaming them on Game Pass. When Don Matrick told people who didn't like the internet requirements of the Xbox One to buy a 360 instead, this enraged the Xbox gaming community for him to sabotage the new hardware in favor of the old. Thing is though, he was saying the quiet part out loud. The whole quote-unquote going third party thing didn't start with the Xbox Series. It started with the Xbox One, and maybe a while before it. Being the leader in console sales is not Microsoft's strategy. Where Microsoft is at now is where they've been trying to get since before the launch of the Xbox One. They're not named Microsoft for nothing. This is a software company focused on software. The company makes money licensing software and putting it on as many platforms as possible. What's been successful in other parts of their business, they're now applying to their gaming division. Don Matrick got canned because you don't go out in front of people and tell them to their face to not buy your brand new product. Sony hasn't been much different. They also have a subscription service where their latest games can be played. Even more so, they have new games which are available on their old system. Both of these cannibalize their newest gaming platform. The PS5 is a graveyard. No way would Nintendo put Tears of the Kingdom on the Wii U or the 3DS. You have to give people more incentive to buy your new system, not less. If you want to know why 50% of PlayStation player base is still on PS4, this is why. You want to know why the PS5 and its games aren't selling and everything's being ported to PC, this is why. People need to realize the PS5 is a money pit for Sony. They only very recently made any money selling PS5s, and their games don't sell. That platform is a dog that won't hunt. Say what you want about Nintendo, they're playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. Nintendo gatekeeps their games, and their hardware and their software move like crack in '88. Sony and Microsoft spread it around, and their gaming platforms are game deserts, and gaming is going into the melting pot of the PC. Offering exclusive goods and services is how any business creates value for the platform they want people to invest in. It's how competition in the market works. You have to offer something your competitors don't. There's no secret sauce here. All of this is common sense stuff. It also helps that Mario, Pokemon, and Zelda are some of the most valuable gaming properties in the industry. Microsoft owns Call of Duty through Activision, and Rockstar has its own thing going with Grand Theft Auto. Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy, and Astro Bot need PC ports to thrive, as the PS5 is where games go to die. Black Myth Wukong would be struggling like Stellar Blade if not for being day and date on PC. They did it to themselves. Sony and Microsoft did things to take value away from their consoles, while Nintendo has done everything to bring value to their consoles. Exclusivity has always been the name of the game when it comes to selling game hardware, going all the way back to the Atari, and Nintendo having 2-year exclusivity agreements for third parties for the NES. The coin-op arcade was huge until home consoles caught up to arcade cabinets in graphical fidelity. Your choice between the SNES and the Genesis was whether you wanted to play Mario or Sonic. Your choice between the 64 and the PS1 was whether you wanted to play Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time or Final Fantasy VII and Gran Turismo. If what your platform has to offer can be had elsewhere, why should anyone stick around? Spider-Man 2 going to PC is Sony giving up the ghost. Sony and Microsoft are now Sega. There will be no more console wars, and Nintendo is the last man standing. If you want a synopsis of this video, the reason exclusivity works for Nintendo is because they're the only ones who actually do it. You can't sell game boxes without game box exclusives, and Nintendo isn't just the one doing it right. They're the only one still doing it at all.